Next, we are going to give you a brief introduction on these buttons and the settings. So here is the universal function for all the software VIP service. So here, when you clicking, you can take a photo and register VIP members' face information. Yes. Input the name. Company name and the telephone number. This means the person have already been registered, so you don't have to repeat registration. This is VIP navigation. This function we need to use the Robot Studio to match. So we will talk it later. This nearby service means the robot is able to guide the nearby location sites that you get confused when you are new to a place. So here is the taxi service information that nearby this location. This functionality is not applicable for all the things, but under some like education, like the hotel, airport is applicable. The story and read some things, dancing and singing. This functionality is based on the cloud. We will talk later when we are introduction on the cloud service. Here we're clicking on the settings. Now we are going to give some brief introduction on the setting buttons. We click through and enter the default password. CSJBOT. Login. We got 720. Right now it's 21st, but later we maybe update half a month. So we are going to clicking one by one. Network. This is the first step that we already connected when we first start the robot. ADMIN. Click view. Simplify the page. Here are some buttons. The firmware, outer network, the LAN network, some Wi-Fi information. In this page, we mainly go to the scan the office Wi-Fi, and then this means the password, and this means save. We can refer to the steps when we were connecting the network. So we're back. The second button is voice setting. Here we can choose several voice volume to a level that you feel comfortable. The Google TDS. Let's mute it.
Not again.
So we choose the Google TDS speaker, but you need to install that Google speaker. This demo we will introduce later. And choose the CS speaker. This is connected to our cloud system. This means you can choose separate, the artificial speakers like Lolita, some uncle voices, some funny things. Here is the intelligent speech recognition. So when this is off, this means the robot will stop recognize any words.
Here's the intelligent speech reco.
This is the awaken cutting or not. So you can switch on or switch off based on the personality. The third one goes to speed. Usually we will set up to the medium speed 0.5 to 0.6. But if you switch to the 0.7, it may be the highest speed that would be a little bit dangerous. Sync data means sometimes when you are trying to sync up some functionality you have done in the cloud, but the speed is quite slow, so you can sync the data to faster back. Save map. The second button goes to voice setting, so you can volume up and down randomly as you wish. You can also set it here, up or down. Here, choose the TDS speaker means you can choose separate different accent that from different countries. Choose CS speaker. This is connected to our cloud service. This means default the original natural voice that just yours, but you can fake some voices, use different the Lolita, Uncle, some thrillers, the artificial intelligence the speaker. But this functionality we will focus on and make it more details when we are introducing the cloud service. Intelligent speech recognition, when you switch on, it means the robot can recognize some words like the keywords when you are speaking out, then respond back. But this is based on the Chinese version only. This functionality means if you want to open a functionality that you want to cut off the robot when the robot is on the working introduction, but this is based on Chinese version only. So next we go to save map. Usually after we do the mapping by the robot studio, we have to save map here because we need to robot to remember the layout of the room. And this restore map means if you just restart the robot in a new room, that is you have already done the mapping, so you click restore map, then she will restore the original one that you have saved. This charging buttons goes to if you want the robot to do the automatic charging, or you want her to go back to the charging pile, on or off as you wish. And this minimum charge balance means you can set a bottom volume when you want the robot go back to charging pile, when the battery is minimal that the value. But if you want the robot go right now, you can click action now, it will go back. Then save it. The second column goes to the factory reset. If you want the robot just reset to the factory, the software version, you click through. But usually we don't do that. Check updates means we will update the robot software like twice a month. So you update the Linux firstly, but you have to make sure the network is connected. But right now we don't have to do that. After update the Linux, so we're going to update the Android. But here we are not going to click through. We just update firstly Linux, then Android. This is password, so you can change the factory default password CSJBOT to anyone you want. This is about bot. Usually we will check the SA number here in this about bot, and the software version 1.1.7 SP1. This is for the mobile app. You can scan here, use our app so that you can control the robot by the mobile. But right now this version is under test. This is UI version. We will update twice a month. So you will check it later after you update the Android. This is power off, but not frequently used. You can also click through here to shut off the screen, but not the face. So you still have to turn off the buttons in the robot. This welcome means if you want the robot to do actively welcome, you can switch on. So when the robot detects your face and recall your name, he will automatically go 1 meter step, or maybe just half a meter. The manual position means if you found out the mapping is not where you are sitting, where you are located at, so you can clear the location and then query where is your location, then save it. This is common settings. The longest display time cannot be exceed 10 seconds. This is basically for the Chinese version, not applicable for the English version. The voice control means this is also for Chinese version. When you want to pause the robot when he is in the mode of working, so you can set up some pause language like stop or like can you stop. Continue says go on or move on. End means like let's finish or ending, this kind of dialogue in the verse. But right now the English version is not applicable. The key settings. This means if you do not want some strings to operate on your robot, you can click setting. Then click here, always hide the status bar, so that nobody else will be able to operate the robot, the tablet setting. You can click through and try. Here. But usually we do not do it, so let's cancel it. Status information. This is for the engineers' debugging work, not frequently used. Each sensor's each serial number, running state, firmware version. Semantic chatting. This means if you want the robot chatting or not. Fuzzy search. This means the Chinese version, not applicable for the English version. Navigation setting. This means when the navigation task was completed, if you want the robot to exit that page, so you can switch on or switch not. Some other settings. Human to robot chat. Start human to robot chat. But this button is also applicable for the Chinese version that enable if you want to the robot to respond back when you try to communicate with him. But in English version, we only have to base on the knowledge base in the cloud.